cactus and succulent growers, it's Lynn, and welcome to today's video. And today's video is going to be about, do all cacti need a winter dormancy? And I'm having a few people ask me this question because it's coming up to the time of year where people are thinking about what to do with their plants in the winter time, and do they still need to be watered in the winter and things like that. Well, I have made many videos. I'm going to be making a few more videos over the next few days about winter care with your cacti, and I'm also going to do a video on what cactus and succulent plants have to be brought inside for the winter months because they're not cold hardy. There's quite a few that do need winter warmth, so do stay tuned for that video. This video, however, is just going to be, do all cacti need a winter dormancy? You often hear that cactus plants need a dry and cool overwintering, but not one size fits all with cacti. There's many different types, but I'm going to try and keep this video pretty brief because I have made a video already on how to overwinter your cacti and succulents, and I go into a lot of detail in there. So I'll link that video up above and also down below in the video description. This is just about, do all cacti need an overwintering, dry, cool dormancy period? Well, the answer to that is simply no. Now, I want to start off by saying all the desert types of cacti, and by desert cacti I mean that the typical type of cactus you see, these are all ferrocacti. Here I've got gymnocliciums, mammillarias, and Parodias, Camaceras, the peanut cacti, and all the majority of all these desert type of cacti, they do need a cool and dry overwintering. And I've given all these the last watering about 2 weeks ago now. I won't be watering any of these at all until probably next April, and that's because these desert types of cacti do like to have a dry overwintering rest period, and by that actually helps them encourage to shut down and have a relaxing winter. I wish us humans could do the same, guys. And this will then help to produce buds for the following year, and also the chances of more new spines and stronger growth. If you're growing a desert cactus indoors in a warm room and it's not having that winter rest period, then you've got the chances of it growing stretched out and what they call exfoliation, because it's still trying to grow because of the winter warmth, especially if you're watering it as well. And this can produce lanky, unhealthy growth, which can attract pests and also very unlikely to flower as well. So that's why it's always good to give desert cacti a dry overwintering, and the temperatures vary depending on the type of cactus, which I'm going to talk about in a future video. So all the desert cacti, do they need a dry winter rest? Ideally, yes. However, there's some cacti that actually flower during the winter months, and they don't need, or they shouldn't be given a dry overwintering. And these are the cacti. The most common ones will be the epiphytic cacti, such as the Christmas and Thanksgiving cacti. Now, these are some of mine here, and these cacti, I keep them in the polytunnel over the winter months, and I do still have to lightly water these. I don't water them as much as I would during the spring and summer because obviously the temperatures are cool, but I'll just make sure that I give a wee bit of water probably every 6 weeks to stop these leaves from shriveling, and also the fact that they do flower in the winter. So although they may not necessarily be growing, as in growing new leaves and that, they are forming their buds. And I'm going to show you, I've already got buds coming on it already. This is September now, but there's buds starting, as you can see. So these are already producing their buds at this time of year. If I was to stop watering these cacti like I've done with my desert cacti, they'll eventually shrivel and they'll drop their buds. They may not necessarily die. Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus can be rehydrated again when you start to water them, but the buds will drop off, and it's such a shame. And I'll see here I've got lots of buds, also new little leaves coming on there. And as you can see, they still grow during this time of year, sort of late summer and early fall. I'm just going to show you here, this is my very old Thanksgiving cactus, Lumbergia truncata, probably about 70 years old. And this is also starting to produce buds. I had this out in the yard for the summer where it got plenty of rain and it really loved it out there, but I brought it in now because there's only so much rain this can take, and also the nights are getting that little bit chillier. But if I was to stop watering this one like I've done with my desert cacti, then the buds would drop off. So it's winter flowering, so you do still need to give these a wee bit of water during the winter time. They're cold, fairly cold hardy as well, so a minimum of 5 Celsius, 41 Fahrenheit, and a wee bit of water every 6 weeks to stop it from shriveling, and then you'll get all the lovely blooms as well, which they produce during the winter. So no, the Schlumberger Christmas and Thanksgiving cacti do not need a winter rest. Apologies for the noise and rattling and shaking in here. It's very, very windy today, and the wind is sort of making the polytunnel wobble a little bit, so apologies. Hope you can still hear what I'm saying. Now, also the other epiphytic cacti, Rhipsalis. And these are a few of my Rhipsalis cacti here, and got many different varieties as well, as you can see. And also I've had to bring a few in from the yard because it's been very windy and wet, and that's my Rhipsalis pilocarpa. Beautiful plant, and these are winter flowering too. I also find they flower for me in the spring and summer, and then they'll also flower in the winter. So because of that, I have to still lightly water these during the winter. I don't give them an overwintering completely dry rest period, because these also flower as well during the winter. Beautiful little white flowers that are very, very pretty and lovely to see in the winter time as well. So no, I don't give these a winter rest. I still lightly water these over the winter. Now, the other type of epiphytic cacti, such as epiphyllums, this is my Pegasus that I've also brought in from the yard, and my zigzag Epiphyllum anguliga. I will be keeping these mostly dry because they are spring and summer flowering. They're not winter flowers, not winter flowering. So I will give these a winter rest period. So it's not all epiphytic cacti, but I would still sometimes have to still lightly water these every few weeks in winter if the leaves start to go too shriveled. But more or less I give these a dry winter rest like the desert cacti. So Rhipsalis and Christmas and Thanksgiving Schlumbergeras, they don't have a winter rest because they're flowering. But all the other desert cacti, as you can see here on this table, and certainly all the succulents as well, the majority, other than my crassulas that are winter flowering, but that's a whole new video again, then I will keep dry and fairly cool until the spring. So I hope you found that video useful, and do stay tuned for future videos coming up on the cactus and succulents that need winter warmth. That will be coming up in the next few days. I want to wish you all tons of love, heaps of happiness, and absolutely mega doses of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. If you haven't done already, don't forget to subscribe and do click that notification bell. Do leave a comment in the video description, in the comments down below, even a heart or smiley face, because every comment helps the algorithm. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Desert Plants of Avalon, and do check my website out, desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic cactus powered